The whole thing is antithetical to what they're trying to achieve. It's not gonna make mortgage cheaper because you're increasing the length of the money you're borrowing. It won't make the money cheaper. The thing to do is to reduce the price of homes. You have to worry about your mortgage for 30 years. Now it's going to be 50 years. So you might as well just keep working and just keep giving them your money because it is ridiculous.
I think Trump is basically trying to solve the problem of affordability, basically encouraging people to take a mortgage. But I honestly and truly believe that this is going to be counterproductive. It's not going to solve, or it's not going to do what they intend to do with this, because this will push people further away from getting mortgage. In fact, right now, people are trashing mortgage. People are saying that home ownership is a hoax. It's not an American dream, because basically you work and work and work and pay mortgage. Most people finish when they turn 60. Most people finish when they turn 55, depending on when you buy your home.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the YNE podcast. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, share, and engage us in the comment section. So we're talking about the 50-year mortgage proposal that's being discussed by the Trump administration. And their goal is to make owning a home in the US more affordable. But instead of the existing 30-year mortgage term, their goal is to increase the term to 50 years. So basically, if you do the math, depending on your interest rate, you might not even be saving up to $500, but your interest, the total interest you're going to pay on the duration of your loan will probably triple the cost of the home. So this is not a win for the American people if they're able to pass it and they're able to get it and, get their necessary approval they need. It's not going to be a win for the American people. It's going to be a win for the big banks looking to capitalize on people looking to own a home. And I think this is just an interesting thing that the Trump administration is doing.
I mean, I honestly do not know what to say, because 50 years sounds like a lot of years. In fact, I can't remember somebody that is floating the idea of 100 years. I think essentially they want people to pay, way less, and it's the way to encourage Gen Zs and maybe younger people to take a mortgage and grow in their career with their mortgage. So by the time you are retiring, you are just finishing your mortgage. But I think 50 years is just a lot of time, considering the fact that the interest rate is always, you always pay it up front. The bank will always want to take their money back first. And that is why, less is reported on your principal at the beginning of your mortgage. And as you pay, more and more will be reporting on your principal, but essentially the banks wants to take their money up front. And I honestly think it's a bad idea, honestly. 50 years is such a long time. It means that a lot of people will not even be able to own the home truly. You will just pay mortgage and may not be able to own it. It means that people will just hold on to the mortgage. When they are tired of the mortgage, they will sell it and then just take the equity. Or to say you are owning the home, it'll probably be almost impossible, because although I think it's an option, is an option, just like 15 years, 20 years. But 50 years is a long time. Imagine if the person is buying the house at the age of 30 years. So 50 years will be 80 years. That's it's just a long time. And I honestly do not think this is a good way to make homes affordable. I think way to make homes affordable is just to build affordable housings.
The whole thing is antithetical to what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to achieve more home ownership, but it looks like people might not even be able to afford it. It's not going to make mortgage cheaper because you're increasing the length of the money you're borrowing. It won't make the money cheaper. The thing to do is to reduce the price of homes. Back in the day, you could buy a brand new construction home for less than $200,000, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in a decent area. But in so many places, you'll be lucky to get a home of that value for about $450,000 or $500,000. It is ridiculous. People hardly make enough money to be able to qualify for all this ridiculous mortgage, and now you're going to extend it to 50 years. That is just not what the people need at this time. I'm guessing maybe it's the big banks pushing it, the CEO of the big banks, or the people looking to capitalize and find more way to hold people down in debt. Now you have to worry about student loans for at least 20 or 25 years. You have to worry about your mortgage for 30 years. Now it's going to be 50 years. So you might as well just keep working and just keep giving them your money because it is ridiculous. Yeah, that's why people would not be able to break away from their 9 to 5 because they find something to keep you busy with. Right? If you're not busy with your mortgage, you're busy with credit card debt, you're busy with paying off your student loans, paying off your private loans too. So American people are not gonna have a breathing room to survive. 50-year mortgage, it's a bad idea. Whoever is pushing it needs to stop. Definitely, they need to stop. It's not gonna make homes cheaper. It's gonna continue to make access to housing more expensive. Landlords know that hey, you can't afford to buy your home. They'll jack up their price. They jack up the rent, and then you'll be struggling to pay your rent and not even have a place to call a home. So I think it's a bad idea. And whoever is trying to push this they need to reconsider the idea and put a stop to.
I think Trump is basically trying to solve the problem of affordability, basically encouraging people to take a mortgage. But I honestly and truly believe that this is going to be counterproductive. It's not going to solve, or it's not going to do what they intend to do with this, because this will push people further away from getting mortgage. In fact, right now people are trashing mortgage. People are saying that home ownership is a hoax. It's not an American dream, because basically you work and work and work and pay mortgage. Most people finish when they turn 60. Most people finish when they turn 55, depending on when you buy your home. It's even different for us, immigrants, for immigrants that are coming from other countries. If you arrive here at the age of 30 or maybe 28, and then you get a job at the age of 35, you get a mortgage. That mortgage with these 50 years, if you go that route, because it might sound very good to people on paper until you get into it and realize that 50 years is such a long time. You may be paying less in the mortgage, maybe instead of 30 years. Let's say if you were doing 30 years and pay like $3,000, so 50 years you could be paying like maybe 2,500. It may sound good, on the paper, but a whole bunch of that money will be just going to interest. And I don't think this is going to encourage people to buy homes. I see it to be very counterproductive, and I see this not encouraging people to buy a home, because 50 years is just a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Americans are very innovative and they find a way to extract money from an average American because the money's with the poor people, right? If you're able to take money away from the poor people, if you have an idea that will take money away from them, you're going to be wealthy because poor people will always spend money. And that's what they're trying to do. If you remember, mortgage, I mean, car loans, if you're trying to get a car loan, they'll advise you to get a 36 months or a 48 months. But now you can get up to 84 months, up to 96 months, which is 8 years. And some credit unions, some banks will give you a car loan up to 120 months, which is 10 years. That is outrageous. And the reason they're doing it is because they want you to be able to afford that nice car, that brand new car, and you just have to pay more money for it in order for you to be able to afford it. In order for people to see you driving a new car, you have to extend the length of the loan. That way, you can make that affordable payment. But if you truly look at the numbers, you are not able to afford it because if you were to be able to afford it, you would have either paid cash for it or taken a 36-month loan or a 48-month loan. It's just crazy that people just find a different way, a different method to make money. We're not innovating. We're not creating new product. We're just trying to reinvent the wheel and find other ways of extracting more money from the common man, which is crazy.
Imagine somebody that is 35, 40 years old, embarking on a 50 years mortgage. By the time you finish the mortgage, you will be 90. This is just a ridiculous idea. Whoever that came up with this idea, like you said, I would think is probably going to be one of these big banks executive that whispered in Donald Trump's ear and Trump decided to run with it. Maybe somebody like this Chase Bank CEO. Yeah, these people continue to look for ways to line their pockets without even considering the regular people. And I think this is just going to discourage home ownership, and people will rather rent than embark on a 50 years mortgage. Let us know what you think, but I honestly think that this is ridiculous. It's a ridiculous idea, but I just might be wrong. So let us know what you think, and we'll be happy to engage with you in the comment section.